Oh, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. As the title suggests, this is my very first turbo, the very first one that I've ever paid for. I've never had one any other way. So in this video, we are finally gonna get this thing installed on the car, but not this car. That's right, we got ourselves a 2012 Mini Cooper S Countryman all-4. This thing is an absolute blast to drive. It's got active all-wheel drive all the time. It's a turbocharged 1.6 liter with a BMW engine, pushing just over 180 horsepower and almost the same torque. My wife finally got tired of the old family vehicle of the MDX, and we got something a little bit more sportier for her. In a previous video, I mentioned that she was wanting to get a Civic Type R, but we found that this car was going to be a much better fit for her needs. She's wanted a Mini Cooper for a long time, but this four-door Countryman was much better suited for carrying the kid around, going to get groceries, and it checks all the boxes that the MDX checked for, so the switch was a no-brainer. But there's one big problem with this Countryman that you may have already guessed thanks to the beginning of this video. We were running into some issues with the Countryman. The blend door actuator was actually creating this horrible clicking sound. So we drove it up to the BMW dealership of Nashville, and they took care of that for us, but they also gave us a list of a lot of other things that needed repairs. Me and my wife went through the list of repairs, and we told them to fix the things that I personally did not feel like fixing. But one big thing that they mentioned was that the turbo was something that needed to be replaced ASAP. The reason they told us that the turbo needed to be replaced was that the wastegate was loose and out of adjustment. That tracked with the issues that we were having with power loss. We kept getting an engine malfunction light, and it was telling us that it was going into limp mode. Unfortunately, the dealership wants to charge us quite a lot of money to replace a factory turbo. With this being the case, their diagnosis tracked with the issues we were having, so that's when I decided to go ahead and take this into my own hands. So now that we've got the Mini back from being serviced, let's dive in and get this turbo replaced. Okay, yes, it's 10. Heat shield coming off. Wes, if you got a flathead screwdriver, you can try and get that off the charge pipe side.
There's gonna be one right in here.
Yeah, there's one down there, I can see it.
We're not gonna pull the front grille off, are we?
It might come to that, I don't know. Let's pull off this cover. So that way maybe we can just unplug that. Yep, that's where that guy goes.
Got the hose clamp loose.
Oh look, it says BMW on it because it's a BMW.
Just gonna have to, I mean, we could just take off the Sherman, or the, whatever this thing's called.
We should be able to unbolt it here, a couple other places, and just, the grill itself, man, it really just depends on where it's connected.
There's a bolt right here, down there somewhere.
You know what? I feel it. I just bought a set of tools that's probably gonna help us out. I'm just gonna go ahead and go get them.
See, this is the part of the video where I take over and just show you around. Right there. Right there. Beautiful truck. That's my truck. Nice wheels. Lifted. There's not much of it leveled. Nice truck. That's been your segment. That's all I got.
You got that charge pipe off yet?
It does not. The clamp's loose, I thought. Yeah. Clamp's loose.
Oh, did it let go? Ah, it's close. Oh, it's so close. God, it's just... God, come on. I honestly don't think I could have done this quickly without this. I really genuinely don't.
You got one more in there. Oh God.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way first. We'll get it out. It's hard plastic.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
This would be just so much easier if we just remove the front bumper.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to do that because it's gonna take all day. Come on now, there we go. Huh?
But you might have to.
Might have to. May. We'll see.
Oh, there's something.
Yeah, get you some of that. Yeah.
I think there's one more. There's definitely one more.
What's gonna be fun is getting these back in there. We're gonna have to put these in first.
We just don't put the heat shield back.
Ah, well, we technically don't have to, but I don't want it to burn.
Wait, can we vent this to atmosphere?
If we can figure out where it's going, yeah.
Because if we can make the unit go shh.
It's probably here. It's probably that one.
We could definitely vent it and make it sound like it's actually turboed.
There's probably an easy way to do it. We'll Google it here in a minute. Oh man. Oh man. Is it gonna fit? They're probably like a lot of people probably just like, bro.
Can't wait for the comment section to be, dude, just remove the front bumper, make it easy.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna say. Now if we can just get the front like that. Jesus wept. Oakley dokley.
Is that snapped?
It's supposed to be like that, I reckon.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. That's a stud. So that means that... Let's look at the other turbo real quick. Because I think if that is what I think it is, then we're going to have to pull the entire exhaust manifold, which I was not prepared to do. I didn't think we would have to do it like that. Because I don't have an exhaust manifold for that thing. Or exhaust manifold gasket. Which we could probably reuse that one if it doesn't break. So far this is looking pretty right. This is the part on that one that's...
So we did that one. Don't even have... Wait, are we looking at it back? No.
Nope, this is the way it goes. It's just like that.
Oh, here's your stud plate. Yep.
Yep. So hey, look at that. We got the right one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say that. Oh no. Okay, so this is the banjo. Okay, that's for coolant or oil or something. That's what that is. Okay. All right. Cool. So we got to pull this off and put it back on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. They look exactly the same.
Can you not just, if this is a stud, could you not get a wrench right there and just screw it?
Yeah, but I can't get to that one. There's no way.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Yep. See, there's 4 of these we got to get to. There's some on the bottom too. I just didn't know what it looked like because of the heat shield. So we got to pull the entire manifold off. Yay.
Do we have to get under the car for that?
Maybe not. It depends on if we can get to the bolts from up top or not. Because I know we can get to 1, 2, 3, some of 4. Cool. All right.
I guess here we go with this.
Yeah.
I just turned a 2-hour project into like a 3, 4.
A lot longer. I don't know how long it's going to take, but what I do know is that we should probably continue trying to get this off, because if we can get this top part off, that's going to make this whole situation go a lot quicker.
A few moments later.
So just for fun, we unhooked everything to try and get this core support out of the way. We're gonna see if we can like
backwards.
pick it up and swing it this way so we don't have to unhook the hood release cable. And get out of the way of the grill. There it is. Nice. Now we're just gonna flip it up to where, well, hopefully we don't have to, well, we can just lay it like this or something. Oh no, we scratched the bumper. Oh no. We can't do the reveal video till we get the new bumper on. What the heck is this? Oh, here's the hood thing. That's gonna be fun to line back up. Yay.
Hey.
There, perfect. Now we do have more room. We definitely have more room. I'm not gonna worry about getting that core support undone because it's not gonna be worth it.
Get out of the car.
I'll be happy once we figure out where all the bolts are. There's 4 right there, so let's go ahead and just start knocking them loose, I guess. I don't know what else to do. Got to figure out how big they are. What do you reckon? Are they 10s? Are we all gonna bank on them being 10s?
Sure. I think, yeah. Oh, those? Oh, I thought you meant these.
Nah, these guys. I can't even get in there. Maybe, nope, not 10, so they're probably like 12 or 13s. I can't imagine them being any bigger than that. They might be 11s, I doubt it. I now know why they were gonna charge us $4,000 to do this. It's blatantly obvious at this point.
Mark, it's not an easy thing to do.
It's a very difficult thing to pull off, yes.
Is it? I really hope it's only 3 bolts.
No.
Or like up here 3.
No.
Because like you cannot get in
It's
there.
no, we're gonna have to, this is what we're gonna have to do to get to that one. Come up under here like this. Get an extension.
Oh God.
Like it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be very rough. Yeah, I'm just stripping it. All right, let's not do that. Let's just avoid that completely. All right, let's try to get these all the way off, just to have some sense of accomplishment. There's one.
I can't get my hand in that one.
Yeah, I mean it's so, these are under a lot of heat, tons of heat, so they're gonna be tough to get off. Golly, what a pain in the butt.
You bleeding.
Yeah, I know.
That'll get you demonetized.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't bleed on camera. I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Editor, blur it out. Yep, that's right. Editor, blur this out. Both cameras. Now make me handsome. Make it look like I'm working on a BMW. But
Technically speaking.
I mean, that says BMW right there.
But so does the new Supra.
That's right. This is basically a Supra.
You're right.
So what you're saying is there's a chance. This is where I lose it.
What, the bolt?
Yep, the nut.
Oh, don't worry, I got you.
You got me? Well, I thought it got loose enough to take off by hand, but apparently it was just a ruse. It was a cruel ploy to gain my trust.
So are we gonna have to unbolt the turbo and pull the exhaust manifold out with the turbo?
Yep, everything out in one shot.
All right.
Which may or may not be possible or not, I don't know. At the very least, we just need to pull it out far enough so we can loosen these.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't necessarily have to get the manifold all the way out.
Are these not connected to the manifold?
Yeah, they are. But like if we unbolt the whole manifold and just pull it forward enough to undo these.
Gotcha.
But if we can get it all out in one go too, that'd be great. Oh, that's fine too. The whole stud's coming out now. Yay, fun tiny cars where it would be easier to drop the entire engine out of the bottom than to do it like this.
I can't even get a hand on this. I don't think. I'm just gonna give you guys an update of what's happening right now. The struggle to get the turbo here is real. No, 2-day job is what we're thinking. But at this point, who knows? I will see you, I guess, when the turbo gets out. Maybe, I don't know, or another update. Who knows?
The next day.
Okay, so some time has definitely passed, but we got the old turbo off and we've got our new turbo here. So comparing the part numbers on this turbo, put the new one right there. On the new turbo, we've got, it's a Borg Warner 5303 970 0163. And on the new turbo, we've got a Borg Warner 5303 988 0163. So it's a KO3 turbo. This one's made in Hungary and the other one is made in Germany, but they're virtually the same. I think this turbo may just be a couple iterations newer because it is a brand new turbo. But now that we've got the old turbo off, we're gonna slam the new one in. We got a couple other things we're gonna get done, oil pan gasket and things like that, just to nip some things in the bud since we're already this deep. Like I said, I didn't want this to be a walkthrough or anything, you know, such as that. But I did want to show off some of the new parts that we're going with. So what you guys missed is that I went up underneath the car and I replaced the oil pan gasket. It's normally just RTV or silicone or whatever you want to call it, but I replaced it with an actual gasket because I had done a lot of reading, because I don't know a lot about, you know, these Mini Coopers with the BMW engines. I think this one is the R60, I'm pretty sure. So the oil pan gasket that you can put on there instead of the RTV actually helps a lot more. That's just from what I've read. I'll let you guys know more about that in the future. But I am gonna go ahead and replace a couple parts. So this is the oil drain tube. So I've got this is a brand new part. It's a Dorman part, so that's good. The part number is 625-826. You can probably pick that up at any, you know, part store. I just ordered mine because I actually got a couple other things too. This should be a brand new, which everything here is brand new, oil feed line. Yes, there we go. So that's all that box had, but this is a brand new oil feed line. Only reason I'm replacing this is because the factory one made me angry. It's a fixed line. I mean, it can spin and rotate and everything, but this is obviously going to give you a lot more flex. And if I ever have to do anything in the future, this is going to make getting the turbo off a lot easier. And plus, this part's new, and that's kind of the whole thing, is that, you know, this part's new, this part's new. A lot of the parts on this car, this is just preventative maintenance, all this stuff that I'm doing. This is, I'm not going to say that this is a must-have, but it's something that I had to have, so just be prepared for it. A brand new exhaust manifold gasket. So this bad boy goes just like, if you're looking at the engine head on, this is what it'll look like. So yeah, this bad boy is brand spanking new, and I didn't want to continue this repair without getting one of these, because the old one just looked like absolute crud. So anyway, well, all that said and done, let's get back into this, and I want to hopefully get this wrapped up today. Okay, so as you can see here, I got the old parts off. This is the old oil drain. I guess this goes back into the oil pan. And this is the old oil feed line. As far as I can tell, this guy wasn't leaking or anything, but like I said, it's such a pain in the neck to maneuver the turbo around this thing. Now, with the new parts installed, here's the new oil feed flexible line, and here's the new drain. And I got that bolt tightened down real good. And on the fittings, they are like a tapered fit, so you technically, I think you technically don't have to use like Teflon tape or anything. I had planned on using some, but I did a quick Google search and found that that may not be a good idea. Depending on the Teflon tape, the oil will actually just eat through it and cause it to leak anyway. So instead, I threw some Honda Bond on it, which may be sacrilege, but I feel good about it, and I will let you guys know if we have a massive oil leak at some point. I think it'll be fine. So yeah, we're good to go now. So at this point, we're officially like at the halfway point. So now it's no longer loosening or nothing like that. We're now switching everything over to torquing it down, and we're going to start putting things back on the car, and we're going to get it done today, I hope. Fingers crossed, if nothing horrible happens to me, we're going to get this done today. All right, at this point, I genuinely believe it's turbo time. So yeah, so the order of operations for this is pretty crazy. That's mainly why you guys missed the part about me pulling off everything. It's because I genuinely could not film it because it was so dark by the time I got done. I'm going to clean this off a little bit with some Scotch-Brite before we continue. But what you have to do virtually is you have to get the exhaust manifold gasket on the cylinder head, and then you have to basically just not even put this on, but you have to get it in there and not even mount it up, and then you have to get the turbo in there. Then you have to come up from underneath and tighten these two down, and then from the top tighten these two, and then kind of snake everything on together as like one unit. But you can't pull it out because there's so much stuff in the way, you physically can't get it out. So it's been a really fun time. So let me continue the prep. I'm gonna like clean this, you know, this mating surface. I'm gonna clean that mating surface, and then we're gonna try and get this knocked out in one fell swoop. Okay, so is it perfect? No, but at the same time, we didn't have an exhaust leak before, so I'm not super worried about it leaking. If it leaks, worst case scenario, I've got to do all this all over again. But we're gonna test if it leaks before we really button everything up. We're gonna make sure that we've got oil, pressure, and all that good stuff. So, and there is oil in the car, by the way. You can probably tell by the fact that I missed pretty horrendously last night. But in my defense, it was dark and my headlamp battery was dying. So, with that being said, I think now we are genuinely ready to kind of start throwing everything in here that needs to go in here. And I guess I'm going to take the gloves off for this, just to stay as clean as possible. And you see what I mean by all the things that you just kind of have to get out of the way of. There it is. There we go. So now I don't have the hard line to deal with. I've got that nice, easy to deal with line, and I think it looks sexy. So that's great. I got the oil drain in, got that all capped off and everything. So at this point, we need to get the manifold in there and then get the turbo in there and come up from underneath, and we need to get this thing attached, the drain, and we need to get the flange attached from the bottom. So the issue that we had with the other turbo is that the wastegate here had no spring pressure. I'm pretty sure we can have it rebuilt, or I can do it at some point, but I just wanted to go with something brand new and fresh. So that's what we did. That's the whole reason. I think I've probably mentioned it at some point, but here we are. Okay, so now comes the difficult part. Getting this in, I mean, no problem at all by itself. But everything else that is involved is just the biggest pain in the neck. You know what? Just for fun, I'm gonna see if we can get it in there now that I've kind of got a better idea and there's, you know, more or less stuff kind of out of the way at this point. Let's just give it a try. Let's try it. Okay, so that's not a final torque. This is just in the vain hope that I can get this done in one shot. We will see. And why I ever thought I could, I don't know. I think the wastegate is going to be the one thing that's just not going to allow me to get this done in one shot. Of course, I have been wrong before. Holy hell, I did it. I think. Yeah, I did it. Okay, so it can be done. It can be done. Good. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead and torque every single one of these down, and that we're gonna call it good. Yeah, cool. That's awesome, because that did not happen the other day, not even a little. Very pleased about that. Super glad that this is
we can do it like this, you guys. So stoked. Okay. So I can get that out in a little bit. So how did we do this? We came in like this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Whoo-wee. We did it. We did it. Plenty of room for the oil feed line. That is great. All right, you guys, I'm going to sail through the rest of this, I hope. But yeah, seriously, if you're thinking about going with one of these, definitely go ahead and pull the trigger, because I'm telling you, I could not get this out in one piece the other day. But now it's really nice knowing that in the future, if I ever have to do this again, I made it easier on myself, which is just freaking awesome. All right, let's get this done. Okay, folks, so at this point, it should be a running, driving car. I still have a bunch of like the body panels and stuff to put back in, the headlights, all that good stuff. But I've got both upstream and downstream O2 sensors plugged in. I've got this clip and this wire and this hose put back in. I've got everything tightened down. Yeah, everything tightened down. I got the plug that goes into the turbo. I've got the wastegate vacuum tube. I've got the oil feed, oil drain, coolant in and out. And as far as I know, everything is torqued down the way it should be. So let's give it a start and see if it starts. Cross your fingers. Well, easy enough, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds really good. I mean, it's a little rattly, but that's because half of everything's taken off still, I think. I'm gonna bleed the coolant. It has seemed to have sucked a good bit in. I did lose a little bit of coolant, not a whole heck of a lot. I don't hear any exhaust leaks, so that's fantastic. I don't know if it's gonna get into boost with it not being too warm, but it sounds like, I mean, to me, it sounds like it's getting into boost. That's got to be the turbo winding up right there. Yeah, it's definitely, I just felt it go into boost. So that's freaking awesome, you guys. That's great. Which, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward install for the most part. It's just really, really finicky. Yep. Got a little bit of heat in it. Not a lot, but a little. That's all it needs. And I guess, I mean, as far as like anything leaking is concerned, nothing's leaking up here, not what I can see anyway. We'll definitely look into it more as time goes on. But we got oil hopefully going into places it needs to be. It doesn't look like the oil pan is leaking like it was, which is good. And let's see. As far as I can tell, the oil drain is not leaking. Everything under here is kind of wet looking. That's because it's been raining and there was an oil leak, and I've sprayed as much stuff down with brake clean as I can. I'm actually gonna take it to the car wash here in a little bit, get a good undercarriage wash and all that good stuff. You can see that there's a little bit of oil right there kind of coming out of the drain, but that was, you can tell that's brand new oil, fresh. I torqued the absolute dog piss out of it. If it continues to leak, then I'm going to drain all the oil back out of it. I'm going to coat that sucker in Honda Bond, and I'm going to cinch it back up in there and fill it back up with oil. And that'll be a problem for future me, but I'll probably end up getting a brand new drain plug like a Mishimoto or something like that, because they do make some for this application. But as far as everything else, you guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna button everything back up, get the headlights back installed, get the core support back in, and we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, so very quickly, you guys, I had to run to the parts store because on our test drive, we're having some pretty significant misfires, and I believe that these old Denso plugs are our culprit. Pretty sure. Haven't seen Denso plugs in a long time, so I got some brand new NGK Iridium plugs. There wasn't like an exact match, but I went off the part number of these plugs to get to these. So we're gonna throw these in and we're gonna go for another test drive. Hopefully everything is good to go.
Got you.
Maiden voyage, but it feels good. And I'm assuming that it's getting oil to the turbo. I imagine we probably hear some pretty nasty, like bad dry bearing noises at this point, because turbos spin way faster than the actual engine do. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of thousands of RPMs.